Hello everyone, my name is Evelyn and welcome back to another video of my trigonometry AP session. Today I'll be introducing you guys how to graph a tangent equation. So this is a little bit review. Remember that tangent is the equation to find tangent is opposite over adjacent, or in trigonometry identity is sine over cosine. Here is our unit circle. So remember that the coordinates of a unit circle is cosine, comma, sine. So in order to find tangent, you have to divide sine by cosine, or y coordinates over x coordinate. Here we have our tangent equation, y equal a tangent bx minus c plus d. So a in the equation stands for amplitude, b is responsible for period, and the period equation is pi over b. C is phase or horizontal shift, and D is vertical shift. So here we have our tangent graph on the left and a cotangent graph on the right. They almost look identical, just reflective over the y-axis, so you have to be careful when you graph it. There's also certain situation where they will be reflected over the y-axis. So you have to look that in the equation. So we're gonna start small and start with the simplest equation, y equal tangent over x. So here we have our graph, and first we have to find our period. The period is 1, so in order to find it, the equation is pi over b, and then b is 1, so pi over 1 is pi. So the period is the distance from one asymptote to another asymptote. The reason why my asymptote is on pi over 2 and negative pi over 2 is because the domains of a tangent graph is never the odd integer multiples of pi over 2. So my asymptote are always on the odd integer multiple of pi over 2. Since there's no transformation, the origin of the graph stays at 0, 0. So in order to help us graph this, we need a table and our unit circle. Remember that the equation of tangent is sine over cosine. So look, the range of a tangent graph is from negative pi over 2 to pi over 2. So our number can only stay within the first quadrant. So let's see which number can satisfy tangent 1. So we see here that pi over 4 satisfy because both their coordinates are the same, so when divided by each other, they're equal to 1. So in order to find a negative 1, you have the range from 0 to pi, negative pi over 2. You just need to put a negative sign onto pi over 4, and you get tangent negative 1 for negative pi over 4. So here we have coming back to our graph and equation. So after the table, I grab both of my points on the graph and I connect it and I get my tangent graph. I don't want to get into the transformation a lot, but I'll be showing you guys what transformation help change the graph. Here I'll be comparing the amplitude. So a negative amplitude will make the graph reflect over the y-axis. You can see from comparing the original and the negative amplitude. Yeah, so if you have an amplitude that's larger than 1, your graph will be narrower. If you have a number that's between 0 and 1, which is a decimal, your graph will be wider. So in order to comparing period, so here we have the graph of tangent to x. So the period here will be pi over 2. So here the period will be double because the distance between each line or each line is narrower because instead of having the period is pi, the distance is only 2. The period is only pi over 2, so half a pi. Here we have the graph of tangent half x, 1/2 x. So the graph will be narrower and there'll be fewer lines because the distance will be further because the period is equal to 2 pi instead of pi, just 1 pi. Here we're comparing the phase of horizontal shift, which is c. Here we have the equation tan x minus 1. So you see the origin shift to the right 1. This is because the equation is a y equal 8 tangent bx minus c. So the number, since it's negative c, the number, the c number right here is a positive number. So they will move right. So right here, this one is tangent x plus 1. So the origin will shift to the left because it's a negative number. Negative and negative is positive equation. The last one is our vertical shift. You can see here that the number 1 is outside the bracket of x. And vertical shift, when you plus 1, the graph move up 1. And here, the graph moved down 1 because tan x minus 1. So the vertical shift go down. Thank you for listening.